Well, there's now another example of no vaccine, no job. Seattle firefighters suing for damages after they were terminated for refusing to comply with the city's vaccine mandate. A lawsuit was filed against the city of Seattle and the fire chief on behalf of 24 firefighters. The former firefighters, they're seeking lost wages, including lost benefits and pension rights.
Seems reasonable. Joining us now is former Seattle firefighter Steve Collins. Steve, thanks so much for taking the time. If you could briefly just tell the viewers about this lawsuit and really just about the entire situation that you and more than a dozen others went through.
There's actually two separate suits, two legal actions. One of them is a temporary restraining order that was filed in the beginning of the month of September. There's about 5 or 6 guys who are still employed. And even after the August 11th CDC coming out saying that everybody vaccinated or unvaccinated should be treated the same, they're still out there firing firefighters. My heart goes out to those folks in Florida, and they could use some help, and we would love to be able to help them if we were still employed. But so our suit, what we're doing is we're just trying to get back to work. We want to be part of the the help. We want to help people. And so in early August, the mandate was rolled out, and we were all reeling, thinking, what are we going to do? And then as it got down towards the actual effective date in October, I actually contracted COVID and was pretty sick for a month. The city of Seattle has disregarded science and religion and anything, and just in their bent, in their hard charging forward decision to fire a bunch of us. There's been 70 or so firefighters that have been fired from the city of Seattle. And consequently, the city is so understaffed, firefighter and police for that matter. It's actually amazing. The chief himself, he makes these moves to appear as if the city is staffed, and yet he doesn't, and yet it's not. If there's a house with two fire trucks in it, he'll keep one staffed and put the other one out of service because there's no personnel to man the vehicles.
Wow. Why do you think that is? Is it folks, again, who lost their jobs because of vax status? Is there another reason why they wouldn't be interested in joining the force?
Well, Seattle's a pretty woke place. And it's hard to find people who are willing to submit themselves to that. When I started in 1994, and Seattle was not the city that it is today. Now it's a pretty dark place. I recommend people. I mean, Seattle used to be a beautiful place, but if you walk down 3 Avenue, you're taking your life in your hands now.
Yeah, well, you remember back in 2020, the chop zone, Chaz zone, that was allowed by the mayor, Durkin at the time. There was obviously a lot that happened in that city. More importantly here in this moment, though, I wanted to focus, if I can, on Chief Harold Scoggins. You mentioned the fire chief earlier. He responded to the mandate. I wanted to play this for the viewers and then get your response. Here's that.
If there is a transmission from a whole crew of unvaccinated firefighters, well, I think there's risks involved there.
You just said there's been one transmission in 20 months.
Yes.
And that you don't think your firefighters for the last 20 months have been putting anybody at risk. So
Right.
Why would that suddenly change because there's now a vaccine available?
Well, the rules change tomorrow. And, we're trying to come into compliance with the mayor's directive and the governor's proclamation.
And your response to that also coupled with the fact that you know that the vaccine does not stop transmission according to the CDC.
Well, that man is not a fire chief. That's the position he holds, but he's not a fire chief. Okay, he is at the direction of the mayor. This is the mayor of the city of Seattle's decision. We had Mayor Jenny Durkin, who put into effect the mandate. By the way, they had no intention of accommodating any religious. I could go into at length about that, but Chief Scoggins does what he's told. It's that simple. He said his response was, the rules have changed. That's what he retreats into every single time that somebody asks him about firefighters. A good friend of mine, Josh Gibbs, he was on the rescue squad. He was doing things, and he was asked about, well, you know, all of this experience. He's a diver. He's a high angle rescue guy. And he starts talking about how great it is to be the chief because he doesn't have this decision-making authority. At this point, it's the current mayor of the city of Seattle. It's his deal. And Ann Davidson is the city attorney. She hasn't said anything. So, you know, the city of Seattle is just it's being mandated from the top, and the chief's doing what he's told.
Yeah, they're just following the rules, even if the rules don't make sense. Because you guys, I know, worked through COVID when there wasn't a vaccine, willing to risk your own lives to rescue people, not only from burning buildings, but possibly the spread of COVID at the time when there was no vaccine. Steve Collins, thanks for coming on. Keep us posted. Very much so. Just a fascinating
Yes, ma'am.
You got it. Thank you.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.